Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
Thank you, Brandon, for being the only one that responds to me every time. All right. Hello. Oh, it's so nice to see cameras on. That makes me so happy.
Good morning.
Chief, I think you're muted.
No, I was just trying to get Hiba's attention.
Oh my God. Guys, Chief Miller just be eating peanut butter straight out the jar, like
With a knife.
with a knife, with a plastic knife.
I don't have
That's
time to give a
a-
lunch. So you gotta keep going.
That's so funny. Okay, let's see. The time is 11:32, and I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let me share my screen, shall I? Oh, also, if you are representing a student organization, please add the acronym of the organization as part of your name. So like Brandon, he's representing SFMP, so it's SFMP next to him. Just do that for your respective organization. That would be great. All right. I hope y'all are all staying safe and warm. Okay, first up, we have our guest speaker, Brittany Hamilton from Education Abroad. Miss Hamilton, are you on the call?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Would you like to share your screen?
Yes, please. I was just about to ask if I can have screen share abilities.
All right.
I think I've provided that already.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. And I apologize to anyone in advance if you hear my cat. Okay, let me see here. Slideshow from beginning. Okie dokie. So yes, thank you so much for allowing me to speak as a guest speaker to your members. I'll go ahead and do my 10-minute presentation. It shouldn't take that long. So my name is Brittany Hamilton. I am a education abroad advisor here at UHCL Clear Lake. I'm very excited to speak with you guys about education abroad, the opportunities that it has, and how you all can make that work. Okay, so this is our education abroad staff. Should you pursue your education abroad journey, you'll be working with one of us to help facilitate the process. We have another education abroad advisor. Her name is Lisa Lima. And we also have Bianca Schomburg, who is the Executive Director of Education Abroad and Scholar Services. So study abroad is a great opportunity for everyone from any background. Being abroad allows you to enhance your personal, academic, and professional growth. And with tons of financial aid and scholarship opportunities, it can allow you to do something super exciting and fun that will help you transform your understanding of the world. It's beneficial in developing and strengthening language skills. But remember, you do not have to speak the language of the host country in order to study abroad. It also builds leadership skills in addition to building international networks and so much more. All right, so the benefits. The benefits are pretty much endless. Finding employment after graduation can be really tough. So you'll want to consider what's gonna make you stand out from the rest make your resume stand out from the rest when applying for jobs. And a study abroad can give you that opportunity. We have programs that are as short as a week to as long as a year, and anything in between. We've had students in the past who've started off with a week or 2 week program, and as they got more comfortable, they built the length of their stay. There are plenty of programs out there just based on your comfort level and also your degree plan. Okay. So here's a few things that students who've traveled or studied abroad in the past have said. Everyone is different for their reasoning of going abroad or studying abroad. But everyone who has left and came back, they've come back as a totally different person. It's just something about the program that just does something that benefits them for the better. Some students do it just to show their parents like, hey, I'm more of an independent person. I just want to prove to you that I'm an independent person. Other students do it because it's just been a lifelong dream to travel abroad, and study abroad was a great opportunity to do so. So whatever your reasoning is, we are here to help you find a program to ensure that it meets your goal. Okay. So these right here are all important factors, these 5 factors that you see, especially number 1, because study abroad and your academics go hand in hand. You'll also want to think about duration. How long do you want to be gone? Do you want to be gone a week-long program, or do you want to go for a semester-long program or for a year-long program? Location, big vibrant city versus small countryside. You'll also want to think about housing. Would you want to live in a dorm with your peers, or would you want to consider living in an apartment of your own? And finally, cost. You'll want to consider if you can do the program with financial aid and scholarship opportunities without breaking the bank. Okay, so just real quickly, think about where you fall on the spectrum. Programs range from completely hand-holding to completely independent. Those of you who may feel more comfortable on a group flight, have pre-arranged housing, have a set schedule, you may fall to the left, and this is completely understandable if this is your first time studying abroad. And however, there are people who are just a little bit more independent. They'll whether fly solo, they'll arrange their own housing and pay their own rent. And they'll choose their own itinerary during their off times. And there's people who fall right in the middle. So you may want a group flight, have a prearranged housing, and live, in a dorm with your peers. But you'll want to navigate how you, where you go on your off time or on the weekends. And there's programs for any one of those. So just depending on your comfort level, we have a program out there that can fit your needs. Okay, so let's talk about internships abroad. Internships abroad are very, very popular. More companies are wanting internationally competent workers. So this is a really big boost in your resume and making it stand out among the rest. Should this be the route that you take, we will ensure that you get hands-on experience. We do not want any of our students to be subjected to getting coffee or making copies. We want you to be able to have a valuable experience and work with the experts in your field. We also have virtual or remote internships available as well. These are typically where you'll work with an international company via remotely from home. These are typically popular with students who may not have the time nor the funds to do an internship abroad. We do understand that this does not equate to actually interning abroad, but it still can add some type of value to your resume. All right, so a huge thing that prevents some people from studying abroad is the thought about cost. Some families and some people live paycheck to paycheck. So the thought of doing a study abroad program just seems financially impossible. But luckily, there are a lot of financial aid and scholarship opportunities to offset the costs. With a mixture of these, it's quite possible, and I've seen it happen, where you can do a study abroad program for practically free, but you have to be very, very driven in the applying for scholarships. So I always say apply, apply, apply. Apply to many scholarships that you find that you're eligible for and that you can get awarded for. There's opportunities for scholarship opportunities for students who are first generation college students. And we also have opportunities for minority serving institution, students who are attending a minority serving institution like UHCL. And we also have for STEM majors also, as well as for minority students. But for the minority serving institution scholarships, you don't have to be a minority yourself to apply for those. Okay, so these are just general guidelines or deadlines, I'm sorry. These are general. Deadlines vary from program to program. More popular programs like those in England, South Korea, Australia, and Japan, those are really, really popular. So those tend to close early. So you'll want to connect with us even if your program doesn't start for another year, because with study abroad, you want to kind of start the process at least 9 months to a year ahead of time, just to make sure everything is in order before your departure date. Okay, so this is kind of the application process, how it will flow. First, you would attend an information session, a Education Abroad 101 information session. It's a more in-depth version of what I'm speaking to you about today. We go over program selections, we go over course selections, housing, financial aid and scholarships, and things like that. Then you will choose about 2 or 3 programs that you find interest in. Either they are somewhere that you want to go, or they offer courses that you want to take. And then you would make an appointment with us. We will go through the specifics with you and help you narrow it down to one program. After that, you'll complete an Education Abroad application, and you'll also apply to the partner provider as well that has the program of your choice. After that, we will help obtain course syllabus for you for the courses that you choose to take. You will take those to your college for approval. And then after that, you can apply for financial aid and scholarships. Okay, so this is just a look at our Education Abroad website. I could put this in the chat as well. This is where we have like our directory of all our programs. So there's tons of programs here that you can search through. There's many locations, many majors, all and available. Here's where you'll also submit an application as well. And then we also have resources available. So this is where you can find our upcoming 101 information sessions. You can learn more about virtual internships, scholarships and grants, and different types of resources as well. And you can also schedule an appointment, request info, and things like that. Okay, so this is a program that we are promoting out of our office. This is a summer 2021 program in La Rioja, Spain. This is an intensive language and culture program from June 28th to July 23rd. We'll be having a information session if you're interested in learning more about this program. That will be held on March 5th at 11 a.m. via Zoom. This program here, it tends to be really, really popular because of how cheap it is. As you can see, the program fee is $2,154. So definitely reach out to us if you want to attend this session here. That way you can learn some more about this program. Okay, real quickly, this is a look at our faculty-led programs. Faculty-led programs are typically about 2 weeks long. You will go with a UHCL faculty member and a group of UHCL students to a location where the faculty member will lead you through different sites and different various things to learn about the course that you will come back and apply what you learned to. As you can see, we have one that was in Kenya, Jordan, and England. So we're trying to reach out to more faculty members to get them involved as well. There certainly is an interest there by a few professors to do this. This is really good for first-time study abroad students, just because you know, you're with a group and you're with a faculty member, so you kind of get a feel, kind of get your feet wet on being abroad. Okay, so follow us on Instagram at UHCL OIAP. We have always updated information. We try to have different stories of students who have traveled study abroad in the past, different tips, scholarship opportunities, programs that we have via different partner providers as well. And we're constantly updating it. If you have any questions that I could not get to today, or you think of later, you can always email us at educationabroad@uhcl.edu.
Ms. Hamilton, there's two questions in the chat. Does your office work with LGBTQIA plus students to help them find locations that are safe for them?
Absolutely.
Also, do you work with trans students whose ID may not match their gender expression?
Absolutely, we do. We also have created a webpage that has plenty of resources for students who are in the LGBTQ plus community, so that you have an understanding of how you can navigate and what to think about, locations to think about when studying abroad in that category. So absolutely. You can check that out, and please review it. If there's any information that you feel that we should add to it or we should correct on it. We also got our blessing from diversity, equity, inclusion too on the web page. It's via our Education Abroad website. It has a little drop down. So there's information for that community, the any accessibility, students who are has a disability. We have resources for that as well as too. The working students, also for parents and family. So absolutely, we do have resources for those students.
I just want to make sure I put the right link in the chat, if you could check that out. It's uhcl.edu/academic/education abroad.
I don't see a link, Hiba.
Oh, I sent it privately to somebody. Oops.
I think, okay, Brandon sent
I
it.
see it now. Yes, that is our website. And there's usually where it says, get started, there should be a drop down, and that has like all our web pages. We even have a web page for first generation college students too. So we're trying to do different resources for everybody so that we're not leaving anybody out.
So how has the pandemic affected education abroad? That's a question that you have here.
So in the beginning, it was really hard because a lot of programs were closed, of course. A lot of borders are closed, of course. As of right now, things are starting to open back up. So a lot of our providers are very, very diligent about monitoring different locations. Each provider has a program manager that monitors a certain location, or they oversee it. So any type of border closures, travel bans, things like that, they monitor and they update constantly. Certain things might change along with the program. Like normally they may have a dorm, but they may change the housing to independent, like single apartment instead of, there's certain precautions that they have. Some will have quarantine in the first couple of days where they'll allow students to do their classes via online until they do that quarantine piece there. So, I mean, it has affected us quite a bit, but we are adjusting and things are starting to somewhat come back normal for us. I do have a student who is planning to go out for the spring 2021 semester in Tokyo, Japan. So I'm super excited for her as well.
I'm trying to go to Scotland.
Oh, very nice choice.
I'll look into this. Um, well, if there are any questions, Miss Hamilton, if you want to put your email in the chat, or it's right here, actually, it's on the screen. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them via email.
Yeah, I can also put mine as well.
Mhm. All right. Do you mind if I take over the screen again?
Yes, absolutely. I will go ahead and stop screen share.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is we actually have an event today, like at 2:30. And it's something that we mentioned before. We didn't have enough time to really advertise this event to its full extent, but I really hope you guys can make it. The event is called From Impossible to I'm Possible. It's a mental health event with a mental health speaker named Joshua Riverdale. And he's going to talk about his story, his experiences in his life, and how that has shaped him, as well as we're going to talk about, recognizing the signs of burnout, engaging in preventative mental health care, dealing with isolation in a pandemic, how to handle academics in a pandemic, engaging in preventative mental health care and stuff like that. Counseling services will also be on the call the entire time. I truly hope you guys come to this event and check it out. We put some time and effort into planning it. And also, I think it would provide some very useful tools for students who are just feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now. I think it might be a good refresher, I guess, on mental health, because I think we don't really talk about mental health in a pandemic. We've always talked about it in general, but now we're in we're in a foreign environment, foreign situation. So I think it would be a good time to talk about kind of like a group therapy session. We just all talk about the things that we're dealing with and what we could probably do to help us. Also, we're supposed to have a vote on constitutional amendments because this has been tabled forever. So I'm going to take quorum. So I'm going to stop my screen share. And if you are representing a student organization, if you could raise your hand. I think it's a reaction. Yeah. Oh, look, y'all already know what to do. Thank you. Um, so again, Jay, are you representing Wissa or somebody else? Yeah, so you trying to raise your hand? Let's see. Anybody else? Sarah, Arif, it seems like you're representing an organization. Marie, Rahul, y'all are all representing orgs. If you guys could raise your hand so we can meet quorum, that would be great. All right, going once. Thank you guys. Going once, going twice. All right, the quorum for today's meeting is 21. We are still quite a bit off. Thank you guys so much for raising your hand. But we will be unable to vote on the constitutional amendment today. Another thing I want to talk about is we do have this green committee that we're working on forming, and so we need individuals to serve on this committee. We need to come up with a name. We need to form the bylaws and the purpose of this committee. As y'all know, we've received a lot of complaints, like even in the past, when we were on campus, about our school and recycling and being a more sustainable campus. So I wanted to kind of create a committee so we are thinking about sustainability with every decision that we make. So even if it's like refillable water stations or the light bulbs on campus or solar panel covered parking, anything like that. So if y'all are interested in serving on a green committee, or you have a professor that you know that would be interested, send me that info. I will reach out to them. Thank you. Also, we have a VP administration candidate. Elections are open until March 1st at 5 p.m. You can vote on Get Involved. We have Abram. Abram, do you want to say a few words or introduce yourself?
Yeah. Oh, obviously, I want to say good morning before it gets noon.
Morning.
Good morning. So I'm Abram. I'm a freshman, and I'm running for VP administration. One thing I love about UHCO is that we're encouraged to voice our opinions at all times, which has helped me to come out of my shell and have my own opinions. We as a community have the privilege of openly discussing issues, making differences at our university. We should face life directly through open communication and develop confidence for future challenges. But how are we supposed to make a difference in the world if we lack the confidence to make a change in our own community? I have been fortunate enough to see the SGA meetings being steered well, but there's so much that we can still do. If elected, I'll be a strong student voice and student advocate, and I'll do my very best to help out SGA and have an efficient forum of discussion where decisions are reached. Though I want to encourage people to go to these SGA meetings at all times. Like today, we only had 21 people. Um, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat box. And yeah, let's make SGA an effective system where opinions matter, and vote for me. Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for Abram? He's also a senator, so he's had some experience working with SGAs.
Definitely. And one more thing, I will keep it real with you. I will not sugarcoat anything with you guys. Definitely, I would never lie. I'll do my best. Put your voice out there.
Any questions for Abram?
So what's one thing you would change if you were to get elected into office? What's one thing you would change?
I have a whole list, but definitely I would like to you put me in the spot right now. It's just really hard. You put me in the spot. Well, if you want to have a one-on-one discussion about it, I definitely would love to give you a whole list of things I want to do.
Damn, I have a list of things to improve then, huh? Okay.
I think that kind of hurt him. I have a book.
It's okay.
It's
It's
not
okay.
a book, but
It's okay. I'm glad that you're ambitious and that you have something to bring to this organization. I think there is always room for improvement, and we're excited to have somebody as passionate as you on our team. So elections are open, like I said, on Get Involved until March 1st at 5 p.m. Go vote for Abram. All right, now we have Derek Delgado, our VP Committee Coordinator, with his presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. So basically, I just want to let everyone know that there are director positions open. So if you are not wanting to fulfill the position of serving on the executive council just yet, and you kind of want to get your feet wet, kind of understand how SGA works, a director position is the best place to start. If you click the link, I put all the links in the chat. It'll take you directly to get involved. To fill out the application. Also, if you're wanting to serve on the Senate, or if you're also wanting to serve as a committee representative, right now there's no vacancies on any committees, but once one does show up, we'll most certainly consider you for that position because you've voiced your interest into it. Also, I know it doesn't say this here, but all of the meetings have been updated onto the YouTube channel. So once this meeting is over, give me like 30 minutes to an hour, and then this one will be up there as well. That one, the last 2 or 3 meetings will be the most important because that's when Mark Denny has given his short presentation about the tuition and fees increase. So if you want to send that over to your student orgs for them to get more information on that, most certainly you should do that. Other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah, so applications are in the chat. Consider being a director. The good thing about director positions is if you're interested in being on the executive council, but you don't want to make the commitment, like Derek said, it's a great way to shadow an EC member to know what they're doing and what kind of responsibilities they have, and if that's something you are interested in taking on. All right, we have Alina Thomas with OSIL updates.
I think Erica will take over when it comes to sharing that. So I will give her privilege to share her screen.
Erica.
Hello everyone, first and foremost, hope you all are doing well. Until I have the opportunity to share my screen, I will just talk. So basically, we have an exciting opportunity for you all to vote on the UHCL letters. And so those are the letters that are out at the front of the front entrance, as well as the letters that are right behind the SSCB that say Hawks and that say UHCL. And so you probably also are already gotten an email about it, but we wanted to reaffirm that here in this meeting as well. Let me share so you can see the various options. Here we are. So option 1 has a nice green and blue flare. Option 2 has a little bit more blue with a green flare. Option 3 has like some open spaces there. And then option 4 has the nice decal on it as well. And if you do glance here on the left-hand side, it does show how the letters would look in real time. So they're kind of like thicker. And so that's just to give you a visual of what the overall look will be. And Alina has so graciously, or will so graciously, put the link in the chat for you all to follow that link and then actually be able to vote. You'll have to put a bit of information before you get to this page. But we look forward to kind of hearing your opinions and helping, having you all help us really make that final decision for what the letters look like. Thanks so much. That's all I had. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day.
And I want to add that for these letters, only students can vote, right? It's not open to staff and faculty for voting. So please use your voice and vote because y'all are the only ones that can vote. So yeah, link is in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. Look at that, we're at open forum. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, anything y'all want to discuss, complaints about the university? Just kidding, we don't have those.
So how do you ever plan on voting for like funding and stuff like that if we can't meet quorum?
That's a good question. So we're trying to work on switching the rules for quorum in the Constitution, but in order to do that the first time, we do have to meet quorum. We do have some senators though that are like, looking at how we can interpret the rule differently, because according to the Constitution, there's something that says like it's about those organizations that choose to participate. So people were saying that the organizations that are not present at this meeting technically aren't choosing to participate, so they don't have to be a part of quorum. But we're still looking into that and trying to figure out if that's something that we can do. But we really do need to meet quorum. The thing is, I wish I could just say that it's something that I can ignore and like move on, but then I can't do that. The Constitution is the only thing that upholds my position.
Hiba, I have a question.
Yeah.
Traditionally, before COVID, were there issues meeting quorum?
No.
So my recommendation, and I don't even know if this is doable, this is just what I would look into, is when you can meet quorum and you can change the rules, write in the definition of an emergency situation and define it. And it could be something like this, where people physically can't come together. So whenever you meet the definition of whatever your emergency situations are, then you can proceed with your vote without the proper quorum.
Yeah, and technically there were issues with quorum before COVID. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So before COVID, whenever we didn't meet quorum, there was the whole pending Dean of Students approval thing. I don't know if y'all remember that. So if something like if we didn't meet quorum, we could send it to the Dean of Students. But that's something that we completely, or somebody completely made up, is not in the Constitution or written anywhere. So it's like, I don't know. And it's like, what kind of president do y'all want? Someone that doesn't follow the rules or someone that does? Because like, I would love to ignore it, but then that gives me the right to ignore every other rule in the Constitution. I kind of have to uphold myself to an ethical standard. I hope that answers your question. If you are interested in making a change and working with us on a solution for this, you are more than welcome to join our Senate. We're always looking for people to join our team, and maybe you can help us with a constitutional amendment that we can pass.
Thank you for answering the question.
No problem. Are there any further questions? Are there any other questions? How are y'all feeling today?
Put my email in the chat box. I forgot about that after, but there you go.
Thank you. All right, I'm going once. Please feel free to ask your question in the chat. You can also send it to me directly if you want to remain anonymous. All right, going once, going twice. All right, that's the end of our meeting. Hold up, let me read the closing remarks before the quote. Oh no, it's loading. This is a slow closing remark situation, isn't it? Anyways, all right. So the next virtual SGA meeting will be held on March 2nd, 2021. Please be present no later than 11:20 a.m. to be led into the session so we can begin promptly at 11:30 a.m. To schedule agenda time, i.e. student organization announcements, staff and university announcements, etc., a completed request form must be submitted on the SGA website by 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Online forms are on www.uhcl.edu/SGA. The quote of the day is, "We must accept finite disappointment, but we must never lose infinite hope," by MLK Jr. And the time is 12:07 and this meeting is adjourned.